The Norns, weavers of fate at the roots of Yggdrasil. Part 1. Maidens of Destiny, who are Urd, Verdandi, and Skuld. The Norns, powerful female beings in Norse mythology, are the ultimate arbiters of destiny, their names echoing through the ages as Urd, Verdandi, and Skuld. These three maidens reside by the Well of Urd, beneath the mighty ash tree Yggdrasil, the axis of the cosmos. Their primary task is to govern the fates of all beings, from the humblest mortal to the mightiest god. Each sister embodies a different aspect of time, intricately weaving the past, present, and future into an unbreakable tapestry of existence. Their presence underscores the profound belief in an overarching, unyielding destiny that shaped the lives of everyone in the Norse cosmology, a concept both fascinating and daunting. Urd, whose name means that which has been, or fate, is the eldest of the three sisters and represents the past. She is the keeper of memories, the one who knows all that has transpired since the dawn of time. Her gaze is fixed backward, contemplating the choices made and the events that have already unfolded. It is from her wisdom that the other Norns draw their understanding, providing the foundation upon which all present and future actions are built. Her role is crucial in establishing the immutable facts of existence, the unchangeable history that forms the bedrock of every being's journey. Verdandi, whose name signifies that which is becoming or present, is the Norn of the present. She actively shapes the unfolding moments, her hands busily working the threads of fate as they are being spun. Verdandi represents the dynamic, ever-changing nature of the current moment, where choices are made and consequences begin to manifest. She bridges the gap between the immutable past and the uncertain future, transforming the potential of Urd's knowledge into the living reality of the now. Her focus is on the continuous creation of experience, the delicate balance between what has been and what is yet to come. Skuld, whose name means that which shall be or future, is the youngest and often the most mysterious of the Norns. She represents the future, the destinies yet to unfold, and is sometimes depicted as a Valkyrie, choosing those who will die in battle. Her role is to cut the threads of life, determining the ultimate end of all beings. Skuld embodies the inevitability of what is to come, the culmination of all past and present actions. While her sisters deal with established facts and ongoing events, Skuld holds the power over the ultimate outcomes, reminding everyone that all paths eventually lead to a predestined conclusion, a powerful and often unsettling truth. Together, these three Norns are not merely passive observers but active participants in the grand cosmic design. They draw water from the Well of Urd and mingle it with the sacred earth, using this mixture to water Yggdrasil and prevent its branches from withering. This act symbolizes their constant nourishment of existence itself, ensuring that the tree of life continues to flourish, supporting all 9 realms. Their meticulous care for Yggdrasil is a metaphor for their meticulous care for the fabric of fate, demonstrating that even the most fundamental aspects of the universe are under their watchful and controlling influence. The Norns, dwelling at the roots of Yggdrasil, signifies their fundamental importance to the cosmic order. The roots anchor the tree, just as the Norns anchor destiny. Their presence there, at the very foundation of existence, means that no being, no matter how powerful, can escape their influence. They are the unseen forces that guide every event, every birth, every death, every victory, and every defeat. Their constant work at the Well of Urd, beneath the shadow of the World Tree, is a testament to the ceaseless, unbreakable nature of fate in the Norse worldview. While often depicted as benevolent guardians, the Norns also possess an air of unyielding authority and a certain grimness, particularly Skuld. Their decisions are final and absolute, leaving no room for appeal or alteration. This aspect highlights the fatalistic undertones of Norse mythology, where even the gods themselves are bound by a predetermined destiny, culminating in the prophesied events of Ragnarok. The Norns, therefore, are not just storytellers of fate, they are the very weavers of its fabric, immutable and inescapable in their power over the cosmic design. In summary, Urd, Verdandi, and Skuld are the quintessential figures of destiny in Norse myth. They embody the past, present, and future, respectively, and are the tireless guardians of the Well of Urd and Yggdrasil. Their work ensures the continuity of existence, while simultaneously dictating its course for all beings. The Norns are a powerful representation of the ancient belief in an all-encompassing fate that guides every life. Part 2. The Threads of Fate. Can even gods escape them? The threads of fate spun by the Norns are depicted as an intricate, shimmering web extending throughout all 9 realms, binding every living being to its predetermined path. These threads are not merely symbolic. They represent the actual events, relationships, successes, and failures that comprise an individual's life. From the moment of birth, each thread is carefully measured, cut, and interwoven with countless others, creating a complex tapestry that dictates the duration and quality of every existence. This profound imagery emphasizes the interconnectedness of all life and the inescapable nature of destiny. Even the mightiest of the Aesir and Vanir, the gods of Asgard, are subject to the Norns' decrees. While they possess immense power and influence over specific domains, their own lives and ultimate destinies are not exempt from the threads of fate. Odin, the All-Father, despite his wisdom and foresight, is aware of his own prophesied death at the jaws of the Fenris wolf during Ragnarok. Thor, the powerful god of thunder, is destined to fall in battle against the Midgard serpent. These foreknowledge and predetermined demises highlight that even divine power pales in comparison to the unyielding will of the Norns. The gods' attempts to understand or even subtly alter their destinies are a recurring theme in Norse mythology, demonstrating their own struggle with the concept of fate. Odin, in his relentless pursuit of knowledge, sacrifices an eye at Mimir's well and frequently consults the Norns and other seers to glean insights into the future. His quest for wisdom is partly driven by a desire to comprehend, and perhaps even to mitigate, the harsh realities of his own predetermined end and the impending doom of Ragnarok. However, these efforts rarely lead to an alteration of the fated outcome. Loki, the trickster god, often acts as a catalyst for events that, ironically, seem to push the gods closer to their prophesied fates rather than away from them. His mischievous and often malicious actions, such as the murder of Balder, set in motion a chain of events that contribute directly to the conditions leading to Ragnarok. While Loki's choices appear to be acts of free will, in the grand scheme of the cosmos, they serve as integral components of the larger, unavoidable narrative woven by the Norns, proving that even defiance can be a thread in the tapestry of fate. The concept that gods cannot escape their fate serves to underscore the absolute power of the Norns and the pervasive nature of destiny within the Norse worldview. It conveys a sense of cosmic order, where no one, regardless of their status or strength, is truly autonomous. This idea would have resonated deeply with the Viking Age people, who often faced harsh realities and believed in the inescapable hand of fate in their own lives, particularly concerning death in battle, a glorious, yet often unavoidable end. The stories of the gods' struggles against their fate also provide a moral framework. They illustrate that despite knowing their ultimate end, the gods continue to fulfill their roles, fight their battles, and uphold their responsibilities. This stoic acceptance of destiny, even a tragic one, is a virtue admired in Norse culture. It suggests that while one cannot change their fate, one can choose how they meet it, adding a layer of agency within the confines of predestination. The Norns themselves are not portrayed as antagonists to the gods. Rather, they are the neutral, impartial forces of cosmic order. They do not deliberately weave malevolent destinies out of spite, but rather create the intricate web based on an ancient, perhaps unknowable logic that underpins the entire universe. Their work is a fundamental aspect of existence, a natural law as unchangeable as gravity, and thus beyond the reach of even the most powerful deities who are themselves creations within this grand design. The inescapable nature of these threads of fate highlights a profound philosophical stance within Norse mythology, that all life, divine or mortal, is part of an overarching narrative that has been written since time immemorial. The gods may influence the smaller details, but the major plot points, the beginning and the end, are firmly in the hands of the Norns. Thus the gods, like all other beings, are ultimately players in a cosmic drama, their roles defined by the ancient weavers of destiny, a stark reminder of the limitations of even divine power. Part 3. The Well of Urd. Why does wisdom flow from water? The Well of Urd, also known as Urðabrunnar, is one of the most sacred and significant locations in Norse cosmology. Situated beneath one of the three roots of Yggdrasil, the World Tree, it is the home of the Norns and the source of their profound power and wisdom. The well's waters are described as being incredibly pure and holy, possessing qualities that transcend mere sustenance. It is from this well that the Norns draw water daily, mixing it with sacred earth to nourish Yggdrasil, preventing its branches from rotting and ensuring its evergreen vitality, a clear symbol of life's continuous flow. The symbolic connection between water and wisdom is ancient and pervasive across many cultures, and the Well of Urd is a prime example of this powerful archetype. Water, in its fluidity and depth, represents the unconscious, the source of intuition, and the deep currents of knowledge that lie beneath the surface of conscious thought. Just as water carves landscapes over eons, shaping the physical world, the waters of Urd's well are believed to shape the spiritual and temporal world, holding the memories of all that has been and the potential of all that will be. Odin, the Allfather, famously sought wisdom from a similar well, Mimir's well, sacrificing an eye to drink from its waters. This act underscores the immense value placed on this liquid knowledge. While Mimir's well is associated with cosmic wisdom and intelligence, the Well of Urd is specifically linked to fate and destiny, indicating a distinct yet related stream of profound understanding. The Norns, by continuously drawing from this well, are imbued with an unparalleled comprehension of the past, present, and future, making them the ultimate arbiters of fate. The constant watering of Yggdrasil from the Well of Urd symbolizes the continuous flow of destiny and the nourishment of existence itself. The World Tree, connecting all 9 realms, is kept alive and thriving by these sacred waters, meaning that the very fabric of the cosmos is sustained by the wellspring of fate. This suggests that destiny is not merely a set of events, but an active, life-giving force that permeates and upholds all reality. Without the Norns' daily ritual, Yggdrasil would wither, and with it, all of creation, emphasizing the critical role of the well. The purity and sacredness of the well's waters are also believed to transform the dew that falls from Yggdrasil's leaves into white, hoarfrost-like drops that are gathered by bees. This detail adds another layer of life-giving power to the well, illustrating how its influence extends beyond mere destiny to sustain even the smallest creatures. It reinforces the idea that the well is a primal source of life and renewal, a point of genesis and continuous flourishing within the vast Norse cosmos. Furthermore, the Well of Urd is said to contain 2 swans whose offspring populate all the waters of the world. This myth connects the well to the very origin of life and beauty, specifically linking it to the elegant and often symbolic figure of the swan. It imbues the well with an almost primordial power, suggesting that it is not only the fount of wisdom and fate, but also a source of natural beauty and life itself, further cementing its foundational role in the mythological landscape. Access to the Well of Urd is extremely limited, reserved primarily for the Norns themselves, and perhaps the occasional god seeking profound insight, though such visits are rare and significant. This exclusivity highlights the sacred and powerful nature of the well, signifying that its wisdom is not easily gained or lightly shared. The well's hidden foundational location beneath Yggdrasil's root also suggests that ultimate truths and the mysteries of fate are deeply embedded within the fabric of existence, requiring profound journeys to uncover. In essence, the Well of Urd is far more than a simple body of water. It is a profound symbol of cosmic wisdom, the fount of fate, and the very lifeblood of Yggdrasil. Its waters nourish not only the world tree, but also the destinies of all beings, human and divine. The connection between water and wisdom at this sacred site reinforces the ancient belief that deep truths and the flow of existence are intrinsically linked to primal, elemental forces. Part 4. Fate versus Free Will. Are choices illusions? The ongoing debate between fate and free will is a central philosophical tension woven throughout Norse mythology, largely embodied by the Norns. Role in determining destiny. On one hand, the Norns meticulously weave the threads of fate, dictating the course of every life, from the smallest insect to the mightiest god. This suggests a strongly deterministic worldview where all events are predetermined, leaving little room for individual choice or agency. The gods themselves are aware of their eventual demise at Ragnarok, an unalterable fate. However, despite this powerful emphasis on fate, Norse narratives also present instances where individuals make choices that seem to influence events. Heroes undertake perilous quests, make alliances, and demonstrate courage or cowardice, and these actions often have tangible consequences. Odin, for example, actively seeks knowledge and power, seemingly in an attempt to prepare for or even avert Ragnarok, although his efforts ultimately fall within the Norns' grand design. This creates a compelling paradox. If fate is absolute, why do characters strive and make decisions? One interpretation is that while the major plot points and ultimate outcomes are fated, the journey or the manner in which one reaches that destiny might involve elements of free will. For instance, a warrior's death in battle might be fated, but the bravery with which they fight, the allies they choose, or the specific actions they take in their final moments could be considered expressions of their will. Their choices might not change the ultimate destination, but they define the path and the legacy they leave behind. Another perspective is that free will itself is an illusion, a perceived autonomy within a system where all choices are already accounted for within the tapestry of fate. From this viewpoint, every decision, every spontaneous act, is merely another thread that the Norns have already woven into the grand design. What feels like a choice is simply the unfolding of a predetermined sequence, a complex dance, where the individual believes they are leading, but the steps have already been choreographed by cosmic forces. The gods' struggles against their fate can be seen as a demonstration of this illusion. They strive, they plan, they fight, yet they consistently arrive at their prophesied ends. This does not diminish their heroism or their importance in the myths. Rather, it highlights the immense, insurmountable power of the Norns. Their free will, in this context, serves to fulfill the prophecy, not to alter it, making their actions both significant and ultimately subservient to destiny. The Norse concept of Wyrd further complicates this. Weird is often translated as fate, but it carries a more nuanced meaning of interconnectedness and the cumulative effect of past actions and decisions. It suggests that while there is a predetermined element, the choices made by individuals and their ancestors contribute to the ongoing weaving of their personal and collective destinies. This implies a more dynamic relationship between fate and choice, where past actions influence future possibilities, even if the ultimate outcome remains fixed. Ultimately, the interplay between fate and free will in Norse mythology offers a profound exploration of human existence. It acknowledges the human desire for agency and the belief that our choices matter, even as it presents an overarching cosmic framework where destiny holds ultimate sway. The myths suggest that understanding one's fate is not an excuse for inaction, but rather a call to meet that fate with courage, honor, and a full embrace of one's role within the grand, predetermined scheme of things. The Norns do not simply dictate what will happen. They embody the principle that all life is part of an interconnected web, where every thread has its place. The illusion of choice, therefore, might be the mechanism through which the fated events unfold, allowing beings to experience their journey with a sense of purpose and meaning, even if the destination is already known. This complex relationship between destiny and personal striving is one of the most compelling aspects of the Norse worldview. Part 5. Prophets of Doom. Who tells Odin his death? Odin, the Allfather, ruler of Asgard and the wisest of the gods, is unique in his relentless pursuit of knowledge, particularly concerning the future. He famously sacrifices an eye at Mimir's well to gain cosmic wisdom, and he frequently consults various seers and prophetic figures to glean insights into the unfolding of destiny, especially the foretelling of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. Despite his immense power and foresight, Odin is acutely aware of his own fated demise, a truth he grapples with throughout his existence, prompting his continuous quest for understanding and preparation. The primary figures who reveal the grim prophecies, including Odin's own death, are often the Norns themselves. As the weavers of fate, they possess intimate knowledge of all that has been, is, and will be. While they do not directly tell Odin in a conversational sense in every myth, their very existence and their ongoing work at the Well of Urd are the source from which all such prophetic knowledge springs. Odin's consultations with them, or with others who have drawn from their wisdom, serve to confirm the immutable truths they hold. Beyond the Norns, another significant prophet of doom is the Volva, an ancient and powerful seeress. In the epic poem Voluspa, which means prophecy of the Volva, Odin himself raises a deceased Volva from her grave to question her about the past, present, and future, particularly concerning the events leading up to and including Ragnarok. It is through her vivid and chilling pronouncements that many of the most detailed prophecies are revealed, including the death of Balder, the binding of Loki, and the ultimate destruction of the gods and the world. The Volva explicitly foretells Odin's death at the hands of the monstrous wolf Fenrir. She describes the cataclysmic battle, the breaking of chains, and the final clash between the gods and their adversaries. Her prophecies are delivered in stark, unembellished language, painting a vivid picture of the inevitable doom that awaits the Allfather and his kin. This makes the Volva a direct and crucial source for Odin's knowledge of his own end, acting as a conduit for the Norns' grand design. Furthermore, Odin's ravens, Hugin thought, and Munin memory, fly throughout the 9 realms daily, bringing him news and insights. While not prophets themselves, They gather information that contributes to Odin's vast understanding of the cosmos and the unfolding of events. This constant flow of intelligence helps Odin piece together the puzzle of destiny, including the signs and portents leading to Ragnarok, further solidifying his awareness of his fated end. Even the dreams and visions that Odin experiences contribute to his grim knowledge. As a god deeply connected to magic, wisdom, and prophecy, Odin is often privy to glimpses of the future through less direct means. These subconscious or semi-conscious insights serve as corroboration for the direct prophecies he receives, strengthening his conviction in the inevitability of his fate and that of his fellow gods. He constantly seeks to understand and interpret these omens. The consistent message from these various sources is that Odin's death, along with the other cataclysmic events of Ragnarok, is an immutable aspect of fate, woven into the very fabric of existence by the Norns. No amount of wisdom, power, or cunning can alter this ultimate outcome. Odin's foreknowledge does not empower him to change his destiny, but rather compels him to prepare for it, to lead his gods into battle with honor, facing their doom with unwavering courage, embodying a stoic acceptance of the inevitable. Thus, while the Norns are the ultimate originators of all destinies, the prophecies concerning Odin's death are primarily delivered through intermediaries, like the Volva, who tap into the Norns' wisdom. This layered transmission of knowledge emphasizes the profound and inescapable nature of fate in Norse mythology, where even the greatest god must confront and accept his predetermined end, a testament to the supreme power of the weavers of destiny. Part 6. Spinners across cultures. Why do so many myths weave fate? The motif of fate being spun or woven by powerful female entities is a remarkably common and enduring theme found across numerous mythologies and cultures worldwide, not just in the Norse tradition with its Norns. This recurring imagery suggests a universal human attempt to comprehend the mysterious forces that govern life, death, and destiny. The act of spinning and weaving, deeply rooted in ancient domestic life and essential for creating clothing and shelter, provides a powerful metaphor for the intricate and continuous creation of existence itself. In Greek mythology, the Moirai, also known as the Fates, are perhaps the most direct counterparts to the Norns. There are three Moirai: Clotho, who spins the thread of life, Lachesis, who measures its length, and Atropos, who cuts the thread, determining the moment of death. Their power is absolute, even over the Olympian gods, illustrating the universal belief in an overarching, unyielding destiny that transcends even divine authority. This parallel strongly suggests a common cultural root for these shared themes. Roman mythology features the Parcae, who are essentially the Roman equivalent of the Greek Moirai, performing the same functions of spinning, measuring, and cutting the threads of life. Their role in determining the destiny of both mortals and gods further underscores the widespread acceptance of this particular mythological archetype. The consistency across these dominant ancient cultures speaks volumes about the foundational nature of the fate-spinning motif. In Slavic mythology, figures known as Sujanites or Rojanici also play a role in determining a newborn's fate. While not always depicted as actively spinning, they are present at birth to decree the child's destiny, often with three distinct figures representing different aspects of life's path. This oral tradition of destiny givers reflects a similar cultural understanding of preordained life paths, aligning with the concept of threads of fate. Celtic mythology, while perhaps less explicit with spinners of fate, often features powerful female figures, such as the triple goddesses or the crones, who possess prophetic abilities and influence over the outcomes of battles and lives. Their wisdom and pronouncements often guide or reveal an individual's destiny, resonating with the idea that life's journey is somehow preordained or guided by ancient, powerful forces, even if the imagery differs. Even in some African mythologies, particularly West African traditions, there are concepts of destiny being set before birth, sometimes by a divine being or ancestral spirits, which then unfolds throughout an individual's life. While not always involving the direct imagery of spinning, the underlying idea of a predetermined life path and the influence of powerful entities over that path is a recurrent theme, showcasing the global nature of this human inquiry. The persistent appearance of these female fate weavers across diverse cultures suggests several things. Firstly, it addresses the human need to understand control and predictability in an often unpredictable world. Attributing destiny to powerful, ancient beings provides a framework for comprehending why certain events occur and why life unfolds in particular ways, offering a form of explanation and comfort, even if the explanation is that free will is limited. Secondly, the imagery of spinning and weaving is deeply symbolic of creation, craftsmanship, and the meticulous construction of something complex from simple threads. It portrays destiny not as chaotic or random, but as a carefully ordered, intricate design, implying a cosmic intelligence or order behind the universe. This provides a sense of grand design, even in the face of individual tragedy or hardship. Finally, the female nature of these figures, often appearing in triadic forms, likely reflects ancient matriarchal elements in some early societies, or the traditional roles of women as creators and nurturers within the home. It imbues the concept of destiny with qualities of ancient wisdom, patient craftsmanship, and an almost maternal, albeit sometimes stern, oversight of the human experience, linking destiny to the very source of life itself. Part 7. Fate in Modern Life. Do we still believe in threads? In contemporary society, the explicit belief in literal threads of fate being spun by mythical beings has largely faded from common understanding, replaced by scientific explanations, and a strong emphasis on individual autonomy and free will. Modern thought champions the idea that individuals are the masters of their own destiny, making choices that directly shape their future, a stark contrast to the deterministic worldview prevalent in ancient mythologies. The concept of personal responsibility and the power of self-determination are cornerstones of modern psychology and popular culture. However, even in our technologically advanced and scientifically minded era, echoes of the ancient belief in fate persist in more subtle forms. Many people, for instance, still speak of destiny or meant to be when recounting significant life events, such as meeting a life partner, surviving a near-death experience, or achieving an unexpected success. These phrases suggest an underlying feeling that some occurrences are not purely coincidental, but are part of a larger, perhaps unseen, design. The concept of luck also serves as a modern stand-in for elements of fate. When someone experiences a series of fortunate or unfortunate events beyond their control, they often attribute it to good or bad luck, rather than chance alone. This external attribution mirrors the ancient understanding that forces beyond individual can significantly influence life's trajectory, even if these forces are now secularized and less personified than the Norns. Furthermore, astrology, numerology, and various forms of fortune-telling continue to hold appeal for many, despite lacking scientific validation. The enduring popularity of these practices demonstrates a human yearning to understand what the future holds, to find patterns and predictions that might offer guidance or reveal a predetermined path. This desire for foreknowledge is a direct echo of ancient rulers consulting oracles and seers, seeking to uncover the threads of their fate. In a more secular context, the concept of karma, or what goes around comes around, reflects a belief in a form of moral destiny, where actions inevitably lead to consequences, shaping one's future. While distinct from the Norns' weaving, it still implies a system of interconnectedness and predetermined outcomes based on past deeds, suggesting a non-random, almost fated, progression of life. This idea of cosmic justice resonates deeply with many modern individuals. The pervasive influence of genetics and environmental factors on individual lives also touches upon deterministic ideas. While not mythological, the understanding that our DNA, upbringing, and societal circumstances significantly shape our personalities, talents, and opportunities can evoke a sense that certain aspects of our lives are, to a degree, predetermined or at least heavily influenced by forces beyond our immediate control, somewhat akin to a genetic thread of fate. In popular culture, stories and narratives frequently explore themes of destiny versus free will. From chosen ones in fantasy sagas to individuals grappling with their past in dramatic films, the idea of a predetermined path clashing with personal choices remains a compelling subject. These narratives resonate because they tap into a universal human experience, the tension between feeling like we are in control and recognizing that life often takes unexpected turns. Ultimately, while the literal belief in the Norns may be a thing of the past for most, the underlying human need to comprehend the mysterious forces that shape our lives remains. Whether through the language of destiny, luck, karma, or scientific determinants, we still grapple with the question of how much control we truly have over our futures. The threads of fate, though now invisible, continue to subtly influence how we perceive our journeys, demonstrating that the ancient questions posed by the Norns still resonate in modern life.